Introducing the new and improved microwave oven transformer rig. I've almost completely rewired it, making one major change and a few minor ones. Before, when running the MOT, I would use a power strip, much like this one. Some have a built-in circuit breaker in the switch, others have it as a separate unit. Either way, it's nominally rated for 15 amps. Even on a 15 amp house circuit, and even with different models of power strip, I never had the house circuit trip while the power strip was still on. I have a feeling these breakers are tuned for maybe 12 amps or so. Helps protect the power strip and what's plugged into it, but it's not so fun when it interrupts the video 5 or 6 times. The biggest change, by far, is this blue junction box over here. It used to contain a duplex receptacle and a switch for bypassing it. Plugging in a space heater to the receptacle would put a resistive load in series with the primary coil of the MOT. I only used that mode maybe 3 or 4 times. Worked well enough to limit the current, but it choked off the output so much that it was pathetic. It wasn't even worth taking it out if that's how I was going to run it. Now, the only thing residing in the junction box is this 15 amp circuit breaker. This was removed from the breaker panel of the house because we thought it was faulty, when instead there was just an intermittent short on that circuit. Because the MOT now has a built-in 15 amp breaker, I will be running it using this 14 gauge 20 amp rated extension cord plugged into a 20 amp circuit on the house. I am reasonably assuming that the 15 amp breaker will trip before the 20 amp breaker does. In addition to adding the breaker and removing the primary ballast option, I've now wired the fan such that when the breaker trips, the fan will continue to run, and I've put this little 120 volt light bulb in parallel with the MOT's primary coil. This will serve as a very nice indicator when the MOT is energized, something that I've wanted to add to this for a very long time. Alright, got the same output setup as I usually do. 2 water resistors using a generic cola can as a arc target. Let's see what this does. Plugging it in. Fan spooling up, but MOT is not energized. Indicator lights out and no output. Flip the breaker on. Got a light. And the MOT is live. You can see the light dim a bit. I'm not sure how much the camera picks that up, but light does dim when I pull an arc. That's working nicely. And now for a little bit of can melting, and see if the breaker trips. Ooh, boiling over water resistors. I'm pretty sure the breaker would have tripped by now on the power strip. Oh! That's cool. I think the water resistor is a bit overheated. There's a little old one, and here's a big new one. Found a suitable jar, cut up another cola can for the electrode plates. Up on screen about now are the calculations for the difference in surface area and volume. But I think this will have a much better time handling the increased duration and output of the new MOT setup. Here we go, round 2. Arcs are small at first until the water warms up and conducts better. There we go. Also probably dissolves some ions from the aluminum in there and increases the conductivity a tad. I'll just let this break in for a bit. There we go. It's getting better. Ah, that's better. Getting warm, but there's no way the breaker would still be running on the power strip by now. Whoa! That one boiled over. Refilled both resistors with cool fresh water. Let's see if we can pop the breaker before they boil over yet again. Plugged in, contact. Wow! Guess I didn't know what I was missing, limited by the power strips like I was. A little bit of glowing bit of can down there. And we finally popped the breaker. Holy crud, that lasted a long time. Wow. Took around 20 minutes for the MOT to cool back down towards ambient with the cooling fan on it. Time for another session. Let's see if we can burn this can in half. That was pretty good. 3 minutes that time.